Welcome to Hammers Chat, where we discuss yesterday's news today and today's news tomorrow with me, your proud NITK. The big headline yesterday was that West Ham United have had a bid rejected for Anderlecht midfielder Mario Stroeykens. We will be discussing that in just a second, but before we do, the raffle is back, and the raffle is back with bam, we've got 4 prizes up for grabs, got 4 winners, and the link for you is in the description below. Did you like that one? I liked it. I thought of it before I did the video, and I'm gonna use it. Anyway, I've got the prizes 2 right here on my lap, so let's get this over and done with so I can pop them down there. This is one of the prizes, a signed Jared Bowen shirt. Here's the big one though. Match worn Kevin Nolan shirt. He wore this, 13 years ago now, 14 years ago, 2011, 2012 he wore this, away to Peterborough. We beat him 2-0. Then at full time, he swapped it with Peterborough player Lee Tomlin. Lee Tomlin flogged it. It's ended up in our hands. We paid a bit of money for it. The person that sold it to us is entering the raffle because they want it back. Anyway, a match-worn Kevin Nolan shirt. Plus, we've got 2 more prizes. Don't go anywhere just yet. Signed Paul Di Canio captain's armband and a signed Martin Noble captain's armband as well. 2 captain's armbands up for grabs. 2 shirts, 2 armbands. The link's in the description below. £5 per ticket. But if you buy 2 tickets, you'll get your 3rd ticket for free. Entries close next Wednesday at 9 PM. So plenty notice, plenty time for you all to get involved. Best of luck. And if you're thinking, oh, how do I know this is real? Click on the link. It'll take you to the Hammers Chat page. At the bottom, you'll see we've given away 5 prizes so far. All 5 winners have given us a 5-star review, and 3 of the winners have uploaded photos of the prize that they received. 2 of them have won a signed shirt, and they're wearing the signed shirt in the photos as well. So go have a little look. Links in the description below and pinned comments. Thank you to everybody who enters. All the money comes to help support Hammers Chat. Right then, Mario Stroeykens, as I say, Onyedika. That's Onyedika's coming up later on. Stroeykens, first of all. So the rumours came out, and let's deal with the facts first, and then we'll deal with the opinion. The fact is, this report came out in Belgium. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's Sullivan leaking stuff. Quite the opposite. This came out in Belgium. The West Ham had made a bid of €10 million, so let's deal with it in pounds. £8.5 million to you and I. Anderlecht have apparently laughed it off. They thought it was that low because they want €20 million, which is obviously £17 million. So we bid half price as to what they want. Continuing facts. On Hammers News, they contacted David Sullivan, and David Sullivan basically said, that's not true, don't know where it's come from. So for those suspicious when transfer rumours get leaked, thinking it's just Sullivan trying to make on that, get excited, we're going to be doing business, he's actually doing the opposite. He's playing this one down, denying that he made a bid. Now, it's quite believable, isn't it? And this is no opinion, because it was half the asking price. That's why it's believable. But back to fact, Stroeykens only has a year left on his Anderlecht contract, and all the journalists in Belgium believe that A, he's good enough for the Premier League, but more importantly, B, he will leave Anderlecht this summer. Now, he's also being linked to Leeds United. They are apparently our rivals. I think pretty much every player we're being linked to, Leeds United are being linked to as well. Do you know Brighton have got Jamestown Analytics, which Ipswich Town can now subscribe to. Ipswich Town used to use Jamestown Analytics. Then because they got promoted to the Premier League, they basically got rescinded. No, you're not accessing this anymore. You're in the same league. The data has been removed. So Ipswich lost their scouting network last summer. They've got it back now, and they've been relegated. So I think us and Leeds must be doing the same. Let's just say on Wazaka, which we don't have access to anymore on Hammers Chat. We had it last season. It expired at the weekend. I went on at the weekend to start looking up players being linked to. I thought, I'm gonna research Stroeykens and whatever. I'm gonna watch some footage, get a bit of an idea. Tried to log in, it came up saying access denied. Contact your account manager. So I can no longer watch good footage of these players. I'm back to doing a gonzo on YouTube. I don't do those. I'd rather just say I know nothing about them. Anyway, I think West Ham and Leeds must search the same things on Wyscout. They must apply the same filters and get the same, because every single player, it's us and them. Even the French-based players, the Belgian-based players, whatever, the English-based players, us and Leeds, us and Leeds, us and Leeds, which I think this summer is the summer I'm feeling no European football. You know, in the past, I think before we had European football consistently, obviously we had flirtations with the likes of Palermo and Gugu and all that. But not those days, the days of like real group stage European football. We were always swimming in the same pool as the other clubs around us when it comes to buying players. And when, Man U or Arsenal would go after a player, we just wouldn't get linked to them. And if we did, you dismissed it because you thought, well, we can't get those players. That's all right. We can't get them. Then when we were in European football, I have to admit I was guilty of being a bit indulgent in transfers. We were like, we want a player we want Lucas Paqueta, we want Mohamed Kudus. Hey, let's go get them. We were competing with those types of clubs and we're getting the players we wanted as well. And I think last summer it didn't really count because we just threw money at it with Fulkrug and Todibo. Oh, the guy that just played Champions League final. We'll have a little bit. I'm not going to chuck it today like I did the other day because it's got my notes on it. It's got my bullet points of the players I'm going to discuss. Can't be losing that. Dorp, what, Juve want Todibo? They'll just chuck a bit of money at Todibo, we'll have him. But this summer we can't do that. We can't chuck money at it. We can't lure them in with European football. We've gone back to the days of pre-European football, so it's nothing new. But I think it's sort of like, maybe I took it for granted, the talent pool we used to swim in. However, it's not a bad thing. It adds for a little bit of excitement, I think. That's more of an opinion piece. Maybe we'll do that this week. We'll do an opinion piece of why it could be good. West Ham or Skint. That's not a good title, is it? Anyway, right. That's the latest on Stroeykens. So Sullivan has denied it. Belgium are claiming we bid. I don't mind it. I don't mind us bidding, 8.5 million when they're wanting 17. I don't think it's negotiations. That's how it works. You go in low, they go in high, and you try and meet somewhere in the middle. And if we really wanted him, or Leeds really wanted him, I'd imagine they'd get him for 14, 15 million. It'd be a bit more towards their end of the negotiating slider, if you like. But it won't take... They can ask for 17 million all they want. They're probably not going to get it. Just like we'll offer 8.5, we're not going to get him. There'd be a meet in the middle, a bit more towards them. I'm inclined to believe this. I don't know why. I think just some things you need for transfer rumours to make it feel believable. And I think this one goes hand in hand with the rumours that McCauley's in charge. It's data led, and data wise, he is thoroughly impressive. So you can see the appeal from the statistical side of it. Even 17 million, it's not that expensive for a Premier League club these days. That is what I class as punt money. Anything less than 20 million, I class it as punt money for a Premier League club now. Now, I appreciate when you're skint, it's possibly not punt money, but it still is punt money. It's just your skint, right? That's how I see it. In terms of the other midfielders we've been linked to, we've got a bit of an update on them. So we've got Onyedika and Ardon Yashari, so the two Club Brugge midfielders. Now, there's been some big updates from the Belgium side of things on this one. Again, important. I like it when these reports, I like it when they come from the other side of it. We get the West Ham side of it, but when we're linked to players and it comes from the selling clubs, journalists, I don't know, I prefer those ones. It feels a little bit more authentic. And from the Club Brugge side of it here is that Yashari is likely to be joining AC Milan for 27 million. So a big price tag for the Player of the Year in Belgium last season. So we were linked to him, but by rules us out of there. However, with Onyedika, AC Milan were trying to get him as well. But they've essentially pulled out of that deal, or they've stopped trying to sign him because they believe actually that he's wants to move to the Premier League, but they also believe that he's already agreed personal terms with West Ham. Now, just to reiterate, this is not coming from the West Ham side of things. This isn't coming from ex-West Ham employee or Sean or anything like that. It's not coming from a West Ham journalist. There's no incentive here, because I understand why it comes out from a West Ham person. It's like, it's because it's clickbait, you're getting views, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I completely understand the argument. But unless David Sullivan is contacting Belgian journalists to leak this, which I'd be shocked at. And also when David Sullivan replied to Hammers News, he said, I don't know where that story's come from. I mean, a simple Google would have helped him out with that answer. However, a certain Google might have helped him out with a few other things as well, such as how to run a care home. But in regards to Onyedika, so apparently they're claiming he's already agreed terms with West Ham, it's just that we need to agree terms with Club Brugge. I'm less inclined to believe that part of the story. I believe that we're interested in him. I just don't believe that we've agreed anything. However, I'm here to give you the reports. And I am the messenger from the Belgian news. Chocolates are nice. Eat chocolate. Emerson, rumours are our price tag is £8.5 million, which feels right. I think that feels good. I think that feels realistic. I think it's achievable, but it's not insulting to us or whoever's buying him. I think whoever's buying him gets a very good left back at a reasonable fee. And I think if someone said to me, "You're going to sell Emerson today for £8.5 million," I said that's all right. All things considered, I think that's an okay price. Bought him for 10, 11, I don't know, it depends what you read. I feel off the top of my head, we bought him for like 11, 12 million or something. He's done good, been a good servant for us. Thank you very much, Emerson. And if he does want to leave, which I believe, then I hope he gets the move he's desiring. Kyle Walker-Peters, apparently we've cooled our interest in him. I think he's a player I wanted purely because I think he's a decent right back and a decent left back. And I think we need a couple of easy and quick fixes this summer. I think there's a lot of other priorities to focus on. I will confess, I'm still a bit concerned about the lack of links to a right back, right? Because we're going to be missing Wazaka for at least a month this season because of the African Cup of Nations. That's a big loss, right? If Wazaka got injured and it was always he's injured, he's going to miss 6 games. You're thinking, whoa, that's bad. That's a bad thing, right? Well, it's the equivalent of that. He's going to be missing 5, 6 games, depending on the success of how they do. But given that they won their group stage and stuff, it would suggest that they're in good form at the moment. But he could be missing quite a few games this season. So we do need to get someone in at right back that's capable of covering for him at worst. And we've not been linked to anyone yet. So I'm hoping they take place. But what I was thinking about Kyle Walker-Peters, I threw some random sums down, right? So you're going to have to just work with me here. And you can do your own sums and let me know what you got, right? It's a bit of fun. Nothing serious. A bit of fun. So I thought, how much would we be paying Kyle Walker-Peters? 65 grand a week? I think I've just basically thought, what is the average wage at West Ham? What was the likes of Ardon Creswell on? Probably about 65 grand. So all right, let's just use that one as a number. 65 grand, a 3-year deal. And then once you've added in his agent fee, which I said about 0.3 million, which is low, is important, $1 million sign-on fee. It comes to about an £11.5 million package, that does, for Kyle Walker-Peters for 3 years, £11.5 million. But we were to go get a lesser left back, or right back, from the Czech League. We're being linked to Doof, aren't we, for example. I appreciate his transfer value is quite high, but his wages, if we can then compare it to Vladimir Suval, who obviously came from that league, because we've got evidence here, we've got something to base it off of. And he was only on 35 grand a week. Now, some of these players, these young players that were being linked to, like Mario Stroeykens, for example, you'd imagine he's on very, very low wages compared to Premier League numbers. Obviously, compared to my wage and your wage, it's a lot of money. In the Belgian league, it might still be a very fair wage for playing in that league. But as soon as you take him out of there and put him in the Premier League, he's now one of the lowest paid players in the league and in the squad, right? That's why players want to come to the Premier League. A little bit of that, and I've got no problems with that. Onyedika's thinking, I'm way over there. I'm thinking, I'm going to have a bit of that. Don't blame him. Crack on. Go earn it. Go get your money. But 35 grand, you then start chucking in, £1 million sign-on fee, £500,000 for his agent, so on and so forth. It comes to 7 million over 3 years with that Sufal wages, 4.5 million less. So actually, while Kyle Walker-Peters feels like the cheap option because he's free, actually he might end up being the expensive option. Obviously, there's a transfer fee attached to the new guy, but you've got 4.5 million there to start with. But you're getting in somebody who's younger, got the resale value, might go on to become even better than Kyle Walker-Peters. So I can understand if Graham Potter's looked at it and said, I don't really want him. I was a yes. I'm not changing my mind. I was a yes because it was quick and easy. And because I'm a bit afraid of this transfer window, I'm quite concerned. And I'm thinking, let's just get some the less work we have to do, the better. And Walker-Peters come in and said, right, that's the backup to Wazaka. We're now going to replace Emerson at left back. Brilliant, crack on. Because at this point in time, if Emerson leaves, we need a left back, and I think we need a very good left back too. And we need a right back, perhaps not as substantial as a left back. But do you know what I mean? We've got a goalkeeper, a right back, a left back. And that's without even looking at the midfield and the striker and potentially replacing Mohamed Kudus. There's already quite a lot of work to do. And I just think, to some extent, the lesser we have to do, the better. So I understand. I'm not upset about Potter cooling his interest in Kyle Walker-Peters and deciding there's better targets elsewhere, better value for money elsewhere. Makes complete sense. I don't disagree. When you start looking at it as an overall package, it actually might be cheaper to go buy someone than it is to get the freebie. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe I'm going a bit mad today. I've been sat all morning doing orders for the store, and we've done a couple of giveaways on Patreon and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I've been packaging up all the parcels. So I've been sat here just writing out slips and printing off labels all day. Maybe I'm going a bit mad because it's still very warm at the minute. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Don't be shy. Get involved in the comments below. Before you disappear, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammers Chat. And also, if you fancy grabbing a couple of raffle tickets, or just 1 or 3 or 4 or 10, have however many you want. There's no cap. The link's in the description below and the pinned comments. 4 of you, likely watching this, will win. Well, 1 of you will win the match-worn Kevin Nolan shirt. Oh, I love it. I'm sad to be parting with it, but it's business. We bring in stuff we like that are special in order to give away. And you know, we've got signed gloves over there by match-worn gloves. These gloves are match-worn and signed by Adrian. We've got to deal with them at some point. We've got match-worn Martin Noble boots behind me. I'm keeping those blue ones. They're mine. They're match-worn and signed by Lewis Orford. They were a gift. They're not going anywhere. We've got some special stuff. Kevin Nolan shirt, match worn. Special. Catch you in a bit.